In 1954, your grandfather kept chickens in the backyard, slaughtered a hog in the garage every fall, burned his brush pile every Saturday, and drilled his own water well when the city water ran rusty. None of that is legal today. Not in most cities. Not without permits, inspections, certifications, and in some cases, neighborhood association approval. Zoning ordinances tightened. The Environmental Protection Agency tightened them again. State wildlife agencies got involved. And by the late 1970s, almost every working-class American backyard had been quietly regulated into a decorative lawn that produces nothing but mowing bills. The interesting thing is, the rules created a moat. The people who learned to navigate the regulations, get the permits, and operate compliantly are now charging premium prices for trades that Grandpa did for free. Today we are counting down 25 banned backyard trades from the 1950s, still paying $1,100 a week or more in 2026. The numbers come from verified sources including EPA, State Water Resources, departments, BLS, and small business reporting. Stay until the end because number 1 is the trade that pays $200 to $600 per inspection, operates on your own schedule, and is in genuine shortage in every American state. If this kind of forgotten practical wisdom is what you came here for, subscribe and hit the bell. There is a new video on this channel every week. Quick note before we start. Every trade in this video has specific federal, state, and local regulations that require careful research. Nothing here is professional, business, or legal advice. Let us count it down. Number 25. The backyard chicken keeper in restricted cities. Many American cities ban backyard chickens entirely. Others allow them with permits. Compliant chicken keepers in legal jurisdictions sell hatching eggs, breeding stock, and chicks at premium prices because supply is limited. A small flock with proper permits clears $400 to $1,200 per month with steady customer base. Number 24. The urban beekeeper in city-restricted areas. Beekeeping in dense urban areas has been heavily restricted, but compliant beekeepers operate under city permits. Urban honey commands premium pricing because the bees forage diverse flowers from city parks and neighborhoods. Compliant operators clear $1,000 to $4,000 per month from urban honey, swarm removal contracts, and hive consultation. Number 23. The backyard dairy cow operator. Most cities ban backyard dairy cows entirely, and rural counties heavily regulate raw milk sales. Compliant small dairies, under herd share agreements, clear $2,000 to $6,000 per month, per cow. The trade requires understanding state raw milk laws, herd share legal structures, and proper sanitation protocols. Number 22. The composting toilet and dry sanitation builder. Composting toilets are regulated under state plumbing and septic codes that vary dramatically. Specialty installers in states with legal off-grid systems charge $2,000 to $6,000 per installation, with consultation work clearing $400 to $1,000 per visit. The trade is growing as off-grid living becomes more popular. Number 21. The brush burn service. Open burning is heavily regulated in most states with permits, burn day restrictions, and fire department coordination. Licensed brush burning services charge $200 to $800 per acre cleared, with seasonal demand around spring fire prevention. The trade requires fire safety training, proper equipment, and local fire authority coordination. Number 20. The stump burnout specialist. Burning tree stumps out instead of grinding them is heavily regulated, but allowed under specific permits in rural counties. Compliant operators charge $300 to $800 per stump, with rural homeowners preferring this method to grinding. The work requires patience, proper safety setup, and understanding of local burn ordinances. Number 19. The water well drilling helper. Backyard well drilling was a standard 50s skill that became state-regulated underwater rights laws. Licensed well drilling assistants clear $30 to $50 per hour as helpers. With experience leading to apprentice and operator positions clearing significantly more, the trade is in genuine shortage because the work is physical and the licensing is detailed. Number 18. The licensed septic system installer. Septic systems are heavily regulated, with state and county permits required for installation and inspection. Licensed septic installers clear $50 to $150 per hour, with full system installations bringing $3,000 to $15,000 in revenue. The customer base is rural and suburban homes outside municipal sewer service, with new construction driving steady demand. Number 17. The backyard fish pond and aquaponics specialist. Stocked fish ponds and aquaponic food production face state fish and wildlife regulations. Compliant pond and aquaponics installations clear $3,000 to $15,000 per project. With maintenance contracts paying recurring monthly revenue, the trade combines plumbing, biology, and fish-keeping knowledge. Number 16. The wild game processing specialist. Processing deer, elk, and other big game requires state meat processing licenses and proper facility setup. Licensed game processors charge $100 to $400 per deer processed, with custom cuts, sausage making, and jerky adding revenue. A busy hunting season clears $1,000 to $4,000 per week for established processors. Number 15. The licensed wildlife rehabilitator. Caring for injured or orphaned wild animals requires state and federal permits, especially for migratory birds and protected species. Rehabilitators operate primarily on donations and grants, but established operators secure $5,000 to $20,000 annually in funding plus educational program revenue. The trade rewards animal lovers with patience and the discipline to follow strict regulatory protocols. Number 14. The bee swarm catcher and live removal specialist. Removing honeybee swarms from homes alive without killing the bees is a quiet but profitable trade. Swarm catchers charge $150 to $400 per removal, with established operators handling 50 to 150 swarms per spring season. The work requires beekeeping experience, proper protective equipment, and local pest control or beekeeper licensing. Quick question before we keep going. Drop a comment with what your father or grandfather actually did in his backyard in the 50s. That would require permits today. If you haven't subscribed yet, this is the moment. The next trades are the highest paying and most surprising on this list. Number 13. The snake and reptile removal specialist. Venomous and non-venomous snake removal from homes and yards is a steady cash trade. Mobile snake removal charges $75 to $300 per service call, with venomous removal commanding the higher rates. The trade requires state wildlife permits and proper handling training. Number 12. The wasp and hornet nest removal specialist. Large wasp and hornet nests are dangerous to remove without proper equipment and training. Removal charges $150 to $500 per nest, with high-up nests and aggressive species clearing the highest rates. A summer route covering residential calls clears $1,000 to $3,000 per week during peak season. Number 11. The bat removal and exclusion specialist. Bats in attics and walls require humane removal and sealing of entry points. Bat exclusion work charges $500 to $2,000 per home, with full attic exclusion clearing premium prices. The trade requires state wildlife permits and timing around bat maternal season. Number 10. The squirrel and raccoon humane trapping specialist. Wildlife in attics, crawl spaces, and chimneys needs trained removal. Wildlife removal charges $200 to $600 per call, with full home exclusion clearing $1,000 to $3,000. Established operators clear $6,000 to $15,000 per month with steady call volume. Number 9. The coyote and predator control specialist. Suburban coyote presence has created strong demand for licensed predator management. Predator control specialists work primarily on contract for HOAs, livestock owners, and rural homeowners at $150 to $400 per call. The trade requires state wildlife and firearms licensing. Number 8. The goose control specialist. Canada geese on golf courses, corporate campuses, and HOA properties pay premium for humane control services. Goose control charges $500 to $4,000 per property per month, with trained dogs or specialized harassment techniques. A specialist with 2 or 3 regular contracts clears $2,000 to $8,000 monthly. Number 7. The mole and vole control specialist. Lawn-damaging burrowing animals require trained trapping and exclusion methods. Mole and vole control charges $200 to $600 per property, with seasonal contracts clearing real cash. A retired man with patience and proper traps builds a steady neighborhood business. Number 6. The pond fish stocking and management specialist. Farm ponds, golf course ponds, and HOA water features need expert stocking and ongoing management. Pond management consultation charges $75 to $200 per hour, with full stocking projects clearing $1,000 to $6,000 per pond. Annual maintenance contracts add recurring revenue with steady customer base. Number 5. The backyard archery and shooting range builder. Compliant home shooting ranges require zoning compliance, safety berms, and insurance. Compliant builders clear to $220,000 per range, with consultation and design work clearing premium hourly rates. The trade serves rural homeowners and hunting club properties. Number 4. The backyard storm shelter and tornado room builder. Compliant storm shelters require state permits and FEMA-certified construction. Storm shelter installation clears $3,000 to $15,000 per home, with concrete underground shelters at the higher end. The trade is in serious shortage in tornado-prone states and stays booked through spring season. Number 3. The backyard biochar producer. Biochar is charcoal made from wood waste used as a soil amendment, with strong demand from organic growers. Biochar sells for $15 to $40 per gallon to organic farmers and home gardeners. A producer with a kill setup clears $600 to $2,500 per month, with carbon credit programs adding additional revenue streams in some states. Number 2. The backyard solar farm consultant. Beyond installation, consulting homeowners and small landowners on solar farm leasing and small-scale installation pays premium. Solar consultation charges $100 to $200 per hour, with project work clearing $2,000 to $10,000 per residential design. The trade combines electrical, financial, and regulatory knowledge. And here we are at number 1. The backyard trade that pays $200 to $600 per inspection, operates on your own schedule, and is in genuine shortage in every state. Number 1. The licensed water well inspector and driller. Every rural property sale requires water well inspection. Every well rehabilitation requires expert evaluation. Every new well requires licensed drilling and proper permits. Licensed well inspectors charge $200 to $600 per inspection, with well rehabilitation work clearing $2,000 to $10,000 per project. A licensed well driller earns $100 to $200 per foot drilled, with most residential wells clearing $5,000 to $20,000 in revenue per installation. State licensing for well drilling is significant. Most states require apprentice hours, written exams, and continuing education. The path typically takes 1 to 3 years. For inspection work specifically, requirements are lighter, and some states allow retired engineers, contractors, and well drillers to obtain inspection licensing more easily. An established water well professional clears $6,000 to $20,000 per month, working steadily. The trade serves rural property buyers, sellers, real estate transactions, and homeowner repairs with consistent demand that grows every year as rural property changes hands. Grandpa would have called this knowing the most important hole on the property. The modern rural real estate market calls it the most undervalued specialized inspection trade in America. Here is what makes this whole list remarkable. Every one of these trades exists because regulations created barriers to entry. The barriers protect consumers from bad operators, but they also protect the qualified operators from competition. Older men with practical knowledge, patience for paperwork, and willingness to learn regulatory frameworks are positioned perfectly for these trades. A reminder before we close. Every trade in this video has specific federal, state, and local licensing requirements. Nothing here is professional advice. If you found even 3 of these useful, share this video with someone who has the practical knowledge for permit-heavy work. Drop a comment telling me what your grandfather did in his backyard in the 50s. That would need permits today. The best stories become future videos. Hit subscribe because next week we are going to Grandma's clever home trades that pay rent after 60. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.